Quick disclaimer for the following video: the comments made throughout this video may turn out to be opinion-based, so please do not take everything seriously unless said so otherwise. You are free to comment your opinion and or hopes, however do not take or create anything offensively, as we do tend to have our own biased opinions on the topic. However, there may still be serious comments when specified, but please enjoy. Also, if there are any noises in the background, please proceed to ignore them, as we do not have complete control over our own environment.
What's going on, guys? It's your friendly neighborhood nerd StarFox here, coming at you with Facecam finally. I'll get back to that. Anyway, I'll probably be editing in a song. Let's take a pick. Let's go Pokemon Tournament Magic Cup S4 Remix, just because I'm not going to have any camera footage of my screen this time. It's just going to be me talking, which is very annoying. Last week I did do a huge video. It was like 24 minutes worth of recording time. It was just me speaking about the past 3 chapters and what would be happening in this chapter. And then I was stupid and deleted the file before finishing editing it. So I just finished editing and I deleted it. And then I needed space on my hard drive, so I deleted it from the recycling bin. And then I forgot that you can't export from the actual editing thing if you can't find the original file. So that happened. But I still didn't get the haircut. I was trying to get it last week on the day before the actual video, but that still didn't work out. So hopefully the next video you see me, my hair will be shorter, but don't worry, it's still clean, so that's alright. I might have a few edited parts here and there, but anyway, I'm going to get onto the chapter. You guys see me looking off to the side because I have to actually read it. At the end of the last chapter, all the captains just went all out on this one guy. Then he got his head blown off by an attack that we were all waiting for. Kuchiki Byakuya, whichever way you pronounce it. He just, Senbon Sakura Kageyoshi Senkai, I don't remember the whole name. I don't have notes up this time because it's supposed to be a reaction. I'm just supposed to be stating it. You guys can see how stupid I really am, but anyway. And then at the start of the chapter we see him with his head blown off. So he's frozen, so his head's just shattered off. He's crumbling. Remember, this is a guy that comes back to life every time, so obviously this probably won't kill him. Crumbling apart, falling on the ground. Let me skip over to the next one. I do have to look at each page, so I'm sorry guys. There's a lot of Ryatsu just falling, and then he's crumbling. Hitsugai is there, he's panting, sort of thing. I guess he'd be panting, just by the look of the scenario. He's walking in, trying to check if he actually beat him. Then some ice behind him shatters. Again, this is Toshiro when he's older, at the maximum release state that his Bonkai could be in. So I'm just going to go over to the next page. It looks like he's about to fall, like when in the first arc where Kurosaki versus Kenpachi, where he just fell over. But no, he doesn't. It seems he's about to fall over, but Kuchiki grabs him before he falls. Kuchiki says, "You appear to have pushed your body to the brink with your Bonkai. Surprised you're still in one piece." That's pretty interesting. Because we know that he pushed his Bonkai to the limit to get into this state, and then he had this overpowering part of him that we didn't know. So there's that. Between you and me, I'm barely hanging on by a thread. So he really is just about to pass out. Also, if you hear creaking coming from my chair, I'm sorry. Seems on this, at the end of the page, there's a big Ryatsu flying around, as all you see is the lines. Obviously, if you've read the manga, you would know how Kubo does his art style. You can always tell if there's Ryatsu around. It appears that the enemy's building back up, so miracles always happen, I guess. But it just seems he's getting even bigger, which is very bad. Maybe his weight will push him down to Soul Society. I don't know, I'm not the writer. Going crazy that he's still alive. He's still alive after all that. Yes, Hitsugai is on the brink, but he can still yell like a crazy man. The enemy is still building up. I'm sorry if this isn't very into it. I'm just thinking a lot about what's happening. So this is Bleach chapter 672. I forgot to say it at the start. This is the latest chapter. It was released this morning where I am. So there's that. The miracles never cease. It's just a caption on the page, and he's got like wings sort of stuff now. He probably looks even cooler than he did before. He's got the whole Quincy I'm sad that I don't remember this. I'm probably editing this out. But Uryu, that's it. When Uryu went to Soul Society, he had this special thing on his hand. When he snapped it, he got onto this suit sort of thing. The way the guy looks, it's sort of like that. So on the next page, we see Ichigo walking up to basically the Nazi leader. It's so bad. But that's basically what he is. So he's still sleeping, apparently. Ichigo draws his Shikai blade, walks up to him, and he's about to swing it in the next page. Is the guy going to wake up and stop it? Is he going to die and get reincarnated? I don't know. But they can't just kill him off like that. It's not going to happen. So he impales him with the whole broadside of his blade right into the right side of his chest. No, left side, sorry. His left. Ichigo's right. He opens his eyes. He doesn't have the magical eye thing. Like, he doesn't have 3 pupils in his eyes like he did when he was awake. And then we see sun coming out of the clouds. Does this mean that it's morning time? Because remember, this guy switches his power with someone else, well, at night when he's sleeping. So when it comes daytime, obviously those powers are going to switch. So is it going to become daytime just in time for him to recover his wound? Question mark. So next page, we just see Nazi war. Sorry if I'm making a lot of Nazi comments. I am not racist. I just like to make those comments because I'm slightly part German, but not so much that it actually counts if you think about it. But anyway, morning already. So he's obviously awake and he's gotten his powers back. What a wonderful dream. So he was dreaming, that's nice. He must have had a beautiful dream. I like dreams, do you like it? A dream so wonderful, it could have been a nightmare. Oh yeah, and he's got the black blood, well, we assume it's black because it's manga, but maybe if they edit it at some point we'll know. I'd love to see it as like dark blue. That'd be awesome. So he wakes up and he's got his whole thing just spilling out of him again, the reishi that only Aizen could stop. An arrow appears. Is Uryu in the same room? Or is he going to stab Ichigo in the back with the arrow? Oh no, we see a sword deflect an arrow. So either he picks up a sword, but then on the next image we see the other guy, the one that he shares his power with when he's sleeping. After blocking it, he says, "Morning already?" ? So he's looking out, seeing the sunlight, and I'm guessing it's Uryu saying you missed your chance. So obviously he thinks that he needed that power to beat him. I obviously think they're pretty matched up. Sort of like Koretsuchi versus Uryu back in Soul Society. You weren't able to take me down before the sun rose. Not quite according to your plan, was it? I wasn't able to take you down? ? So obviously he thinks that he can still beat him, which is, like, that's pretty normal. He is the enemy, and he is supposed to think of himself more dominant, especially since they're holding all the cards at the moment. And we see Uryu wounded a lot. You have quite the sense of humor, because the only thing my eyes are seeing now is an animal that's not only been beaten, but tamed, drenched in blood, and writhing on the floor. So he's obviously got a big upper hand against Uryu. Either Uryu is going to pull out some massive trump card and barely beat him, or someone's going to come in to help him. I'd love to see... Who would I love to see come in? Probably Koretsuchi could come in after his fight, or maybe Kisuke could just walk in and beat him at the last minute. Obviously, they gotta leave the viewers wanting more, obviously. But anyway, that's the first time I've ever been compared to an animal. So Uryu, obviously, it's a noble sense. He's a Quincy. He's got to have these noble things. I'm flattered. Animals are brave, courageous, and without ill intent. Well, that's very true. They do whatever they're made to do. They don't make second thoughts about what they're doing. They just have to do it to survive. Either way, it seems trying to kill you while I was still night was a miscalculation on my part. So he was originally planning to beat him at night. However, he's still... Well, I assume the way he's speaking would sound quite cocky, as he is like the second most powerful enemy for them to verse, even though it's only a one-on-one fight, unlike the other one. After all, my own powers are much more suited to combat than His Majesty's. That would be because His Majesty just jumps in and cuts them down, or just torments them and then finally beats them. Whereas he actually goes into sword fighting because he never had the original power. Especially against someone. ... So next page. This is pretty interesting. Like, it's not a crazy hype chapter, but I shouldn't be making any mistakes against. So he makes like a Getsuga Tensho slash sort of thing, except it forms into a bow with like almonds on the side. Have you ever seen like a bow where it's got the normal bow, but then it's got one on the sides to tighten the string, sort of thing? It's got one of them, except he's made it with a reishi by slicing his sword up. I shouldn't be making any mistakes against, and then Oryu's face stunned, and then it looks like someone's shoe on the end of a step. I can't tell if it's a sandal or not. If it is, it's probably Kisuke, but if it's not, it's probably Oryu about to fall down some stairs trying to dodge something. Which both would be pretty good. It could also... No, it wouldn't be. I was going to say Kurotsuchi, but... Okay, this is weird. Oh, okay. I'm just going to explain it to you guys first before I come up with my opinion. They're walking up to the door to His Majesty's room. And then Ichigo says, "You feel that?" And now, so Odahime. I can't say Odahime's last name properly, I'm sorry. But, and then Odahime says, "Yeah, probably stunned. It's coming from beyond that door." Yep, well that's obvious. It's because he's in there. He's got worse... Like, his reishi is probably on par with Aizen. Probably not as big, but he can use it better probably. Waiting for the next page to come out. I'm guessing that it is the door, and when he stabbed him earlier, it was probably just him foreseeing what was going to happen. 2 against 1, I suppose it seems a little unfair. You'll be in charge of defense, well that's what her powers are basically made for. Don't let me down, Odahime. I'm going to say Odahime instead of her last name because then I won't mess it up as much. We see a little glistle in her eyes, because obviously she has feelings for Kurosaki and doesn't want him getting hurt as well, and she says, "You got it." She knows who's the boss. So I guess the big fight's going to start. I'm guessing there'll be a few frames and that's it. At long last. So we see a bunch of frames with his fights. We see him when he's walking up to his school after probably a fight when he was with Sato. In the forest, we see him fighting Byakuya in Soul Society. We see him fighting Grimjiao? I think it's Grimjiao. I don't remember. I haven't read this since like last week. So we see him with his hollow mask when he was fighting Grimjiao. Just a few flashbacks. So he's probably thinking this is his final battle. Something like that, obviously. Finally, I'm able to fight alongside and protect Kurosaki. Oh, okay, so those were her views on the moments back then when she saw him fighting Byakuya, when she saw him walking home in distress, when she was there watching the fight. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Yeah, so Kurosaki puts his hand on the door and pushes it forward. Again, I'm sorry if this isn't as crazy as you think it is, but it's like the pacing is good in the chapter, but it's not hype, if you get what I mean. Sorry guys, gonna have to wait. Okay, I am back. I took off a hat because I had to go outside, and I figured, oh well, I might as well take it off. I don't know, but anyway. So Kurosaki walks in here with his second blade in his hand. I don't even know if this is his Bonkai. Is this his Bonkai or Shikai? So before, it looked like his Shikai because it had the bandages around his sword. But I don't know, I presumed it was his Bonkai straight up. Welcome, what took you so long? So, obviously the leader. I've been patiently waiting for your arrival, my child of darkness. Chapter ends. Father and son, at last their fates will collide. I know I said I wasn't so hyped, and you could see this, like, coming from ages away. just thinking about what's coming up. Father and son, at last their fates will collide. So obviously he's the father of the first Quincy, or he is the first Quincy, father of all Quincy. But then he's also only got like a small amount of Quincy in him. Huh. Let's go see what little fun things are on the next page, because they usually put like some art stuff in there. We see, oh yeah, it's cool. Zaraki in its Bonkai state, so it is red, at least in that image. And then we see Hitsugaya. Okay, the fact that Odahime is going to be helping Kurosaki with the fight. How much help would she be? She helped try to heal the right hand of the creator of all. I don't remember if that worked or not, but she'd just be defensive there every once in a while, quickly do some healing. I don't know how good Odahime's gotten with the healing and the blocking. I don't know. This leads to a lot of stuff. Again, I think it's going to be one of those fights where no, Kisuke wouldn't come in on this fight. I think it's going to be a big brawl. And I wonder, if any of you have read a lot of Bleach, which obviously some of you who have watched this have, do you think Yamamoto will be revived after this? Or where it's going to be like Pain in Naruto, where he just revives everyone? But instead of by his own choosing, when he dies, everyone he's killed just dies. Whether it be in the past, future, or present. So that means anyone who died previously for him, the past might be a bit... See, the only problem I have with that is if that happens, then his mother would come back, which means he'd never be a Shinigami. What if it's like everyone who's died since he awoke? So since he started the war on Soul Society. To be honest, I'd love to see this. I really do. I would love Yamamoto to be back. I would love all of the captains and Shinigami to be back. I don't know. Do you think Renji will be a captain after this, or will he still stay by his rival? I don't know. I think the only reason Renji would ever become a captain is because they absolutely need it. But still, yeah. Well, anyway, guys, that's the chapter. It's a really good chapter. I like the pacing of the stuff. Again, it wasn't as hype as other stuff until you hit that last frame. But that's what casual chapters are meant to do. They're meant to be nice and slow. Get ready for it. So we got to get ready for the next chapter. Next chapter is supposed to be at next week, because I don't think they have something on like last week. It was like holiday for a week in Japan. Shonen Jump didn't release anything as far as I'm aware. Anyway, it's friendly neighborhood nerd StarFox. Hope you have a good life. I'm out.